Good morning, children. In today's session, we will be starting with a new chapter of class 12, that is biomolecules. Biomolecules are also called as biological molecules. They are biological molecules and they have wide range of sizes and structures, and they perform lot of functions in the body. Okay, they perform lot of functions, and we are going to study these some biomolecules in this chapter. They are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. We'll be talking about lipids, then nucleic acids, and protein. Okay. So first we will be starting with carbohydrates. What all topics we'll be studying in each, we'll be discussing carbohydrates. Now, what are carbohydrates? As the name itself says, carbohydrates, they were considered as hydrates of carbon. You can see the name carbohydrate. They are hydrates of carbon. So initially, one general formula was given to carbohydrates, that is CxH2O taken y times. This was the general formula given with, x value and y value changing, right? So CxH2OY, this was the formula given, and this proved to be right for most of the compounds which were discussed, like glucose. If we say C6H12O6, and then you have, if you put this x value as 6, you will have C6H2O taken 6 times. So x and y both are equal in this. This is satisfying the formula. So you have this as glucose. This is hydrate of carbon. Same way, if you take example of sucrose, C12H22O11, and you change the value of x and y, you can have this x value as 12 and H2O, this y value, if we take it as 11, you will have this formula, C12H22O11. So this is also a carbohydrate. But this was not considered to be right, because if we see formula for acetic acid, if we see acetic acid formula, acetic acid is CH3COOH. If I combine everything, it is C2H4O2, right? So even this is satisfying this formula. If I put this x value as 2, then it will be C2, that is C2H2O taken twice. So it is satisfying this formula, but this is not a carbohydrate. So this definition of carbohydrate was not proved to be right. This was not correct. And this is one thing. This is satisfying the formula, but still it is not a carbohydrate. There was another example, of Ramnose. The formula is C6H12O5. If we try to put this into this formula, it is not correct. It is a carbohydrate, but not satisfying the formula. So the definition of carbohydrate, that is hydrates of carbon, was proved to be wrong. So another definition was given to carbohydrate. What was the definition given? We will write just now. So the other definition which was given is carbohydrates are optically active. Each term is important in this. These are optically active polyhydroxy, aldehydes or ketones. Aldehydes or ketones, or the compounds which produce which produce such units on hydrolysis. Now, I will explain the definition. It means these are optically active. Optically active means they will turn the plane polarized light into either right or left. So that means they are having chiral carbon. They are optically active. Polyhydroxy means they are having many OH groups. So optically active, polyhydroxy, aldehydes or ketones. So there are three things here: optically active, polyhydroxy, aldehydes or ketones, or the compounds. If they are not these, then on hydrolysis they will give such units. Which units? Optically active, polyhydroxy, aldehydes or ketones. They will be given. Further, this definition will be clear when we are taking examples. Okay. So first we are starting with classification of carbohydrates. Now, these carbohydrates can be classified on the basis of different criteria. Yeah. So first classification is they can be classified on the basis of the taste as sweet sugar, and non-sweet sugar, and non-sweet, which are sweet in taste, which are not sweet in taste. So carbohydrates can be classified on this category into two. This is the first classification we can have. Okay, so we will consider their examples. Yeah, instead of writing non-sweet, we can simply call them as sugars and non-sugars. Instead of writing sweet, we can simply write sugars and non-sugar. Okay, sugar means which is sweet, non-sugar means which is not sweet. Actually, sugar itself means it is sweet in taste. Yes, so sugar itself means sweet. So the examples for this, children, we can have as glucose. You can have the normal sugar which we use in home, that is sucrose. These are all sugars. Okay, so instead of calling sweet sugar and non-sweet, we can simply call it as sugar and non-sugar. The non-sugars, these are mainly polysaccharides. We'll be discussing about what polysaccharides are. Like you know, as of now, if we are taking examples, we can write starch, we can write cellulose, we can write glycogen. These are the examples of, non-sugars. Okay, this is the first classification criteria. What is the basis we have taken? On the basis of the taste we are taking. On the basis of the taste, carbohydrates can be classified into two: sugar and non-sugar. Because carbohydrates, these are also called as saccharides. There is another term we are considering. They are also called as saccharides. Saccharides means sugar. So don't think that all sugars will be sweet. They will be sugar or non-sugar based on their taste. So this is one classification, children, we have taken. Second classification we are taking is on the basis of their behavior on hydrolysis. So second classification we are taking, what is the criteria is on the basis of their behavior, on the basis of their behavior on hydrolysis. They can be classified into various categories. So what the categories are, children, here? Let me draw the line. The first one is monosaccharide. Second is oligosaccharide. The third one is polysaccharide. Now, what is this? Monosaccharide. Monosaccharides are those carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed further. They cannot be hydrolyzed further. That means we can say they are the simplest one. They are simpler units of polyhydroxy, or ketone. They cannot be hydrolyzed further. So we can say in a way these are monomers. These are monomers. Did you follow that? Monosaccharides are those which cannot be hydrolyzed further to give the simpler units of polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketone. Example for this is glucose. You can have fructose. You'll have ribose. You'll come across all these in 12th class chemistry. In this chapter, we'll be studying the structures of all. Okay, so these are all monosaccharides. They are the simplest one. You cannot break them further. You cannot hydrolyze them further. In the presence of water, they will not break into the simpler units. Okay, oligosaccharides. Oligo means few. Oligo means few. Few means these are those carbohydrates which on hydrolysis will yield 2 to 10 monosaccharides, which on hydrolysis will give 2 to 10 simpler units. Simpler units means 2 to 10 monosaccharides they will give. Suppose they are giving 2 monosaccharides. They will be called, on hydrolysis, any oligosaccharide is giving 2 monosaccharide. It will be called as disaccharide. If it is giving 3, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide, and so on, depending upon how many monosaccharides it is giving on hydrolysis. So you can classify this further. Actually, in oligo, we mainly focus upon disaccharide. Disaccharide. So what is a disaccharide, children? We will say disaccharide is that which on hydrolysis, means in the presence of water, if it is breaking, it will give you 2 monosaccharides. It will give you one monosaccharide and another monosaccharide. It will give you 2 monosaccharide. And the 2 monosaccharides which are formed may be same. They may be same or may not be same. May be same or may not be same. That depends what example we are considering. They may be same or may not be same. Did you follow that? Monosaccharides are the simplest saccharides, simplest carbohydrates which cannot break further into simpler units. Whereas oligo, they are those which on hydrolysis will give you 2 to 10 monosaccharides. Depending upon how many monosaccharides they will give, oligo further can be called as disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide, and so on. But we will be mainly focusing upon disaccharide. So what are disaccharides? Which on hydrolysis will give you 2 monosaccharides. The 2 monosaccharides may be same, may not be same. Okay, like for example, if we consider I'll write down here sucrose. I'm writing for disaccharide this side, just sucrose. Like sucrose on hydrolysis gives you 2 different monosaccharides. It gives you glucose and fructose. This is one such example. Okay, so I said no, 2 monosaccharides, it is giving 2 monosaccharides. So sucrose is the example of what? Sucrose is the example of disaccharide. Sucrose is the example of disaccharide. For monosaccharides, I gave you 3 examples: glucose, fructose, ribose. Right? Sucrose is the example of a disaccharide. So sucrose is that example which on hydrolysis gives 2 different monosaccharides. Which 2 different? Glucose and fructose. Whereas one more example we will consider here of oligosaccharide, that is maltose. Maltose on hydrolysis gives you 2 glucose. It gives you 2 glucose. 2 glucose monosaccharides it is giving. So 2 same it is giving. It may give same, it may not give same. This is not giving different, this is giving same. Right? So disaccharide on hydrolysis may give same. 2 monosaccharides may be giving different. Clear? Now the third one we are considering, polysaccharide. What are polysaccharide? As the name itself says now, which on hydrolysis gives large number of monosaccharide. Which on hydrolysis gives large number of monosaccharide. These are polysaccharides. Polysaccharide, as we said earlier only, they are non-sugars. They are not sweet. They are non-sugars. Okay. Examples for this already we have considered. What will be the example for polysaccharide? We wrote these 3 examples here. These are all polysaccharides. Starch, cellulose, glycogen. glycogen. Okay, so we have done so far, children, two classifications. We will talk about one more classification of carbohydrates. Next type of classification we are taking carbohydrates. They can be classified into two, that is reducing sugar and non-reducing sugar. Reducing sugar and non-reducing sugar. So let us see what is a reducing sugar and a non-reducing sugar. Now first you will write down reducing sugar. Reducing sugars are these are all those carbohydrates which can reduce Fehling solution, or Tollens reagent and Tollens reagent, Okay, so what are reducing sugars? These are those sugars which can reduce Fehling solution and Tollens reagent. These are called as reducing sugars. So what is Fehling solution and Tollens reagent? Children, we discuss in aldehyde and ketone. Fehling solution is alkaline copper sulfate solution, and Tollens reagent is ammonical silver nitrate solution. So if it is able to reduce this Fehling solution and Tollens, then we will say it is a reducing sugar. Non-reducing sugar will be that which cannot reduce Tollens solution, Tollens reagent and Fehling solution, which cannot reduce, they are non-reducing. Clear? So first thing is you can write down that all monosaccharides, whether it is having aldehyde or ketone, all monosaccharides, they are reducing sugars. That is one thing. This is one very, very important thing. Please underline it. What are reducing sugars? All monosaccharides are reducing sugar. And if it is a disaccharide, then it will be reducing only if the active carbon, the carbon containing the functional group, is free. That you will understand better if we are doing the structural aspect. Clear? Okay, so did you follow that? Monosaccharides all, and if it is a disaccharide, then the active carbon means the carbon which is containing the functional group, that should be free. So if we are considering the example for disaccharides which are reducing sugar, children, you can write down maltose and lactose. So what examples you have considered? All monosaccharides means glucose, fructose, maltose, lactose. All monosaccharide means glucose, fructose. That is one example. In disaccharides, which one? Maltose and lactose. They are all reducing sugars. Okay. So what are non-reducing sugars which cannot reduce Fehling solution, Tollens reagent, are called as non-reducing sugars. So if it is a disaccharide, the active carbon, if it is occupied, if it is bonded, it will be a non-reducing sugar. So you can have a non-reducing sucrose. Sucrose is the example of a non-reducing sugar. Okay, further when we are studying, the structural aspect for the disaccharides, you will be able to understand. So in today's session, children, what all things we have discussed? First, what we started with is what are carbohydrates. We started with the initial definition of carbohydrate. Then we said that definition was not proved to be right because, all were not carbohydrates of carbon. Then another definition was given, which is very, very important definition. These are optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones, which on hydrolysis give these units. Okay, so that is one very important thing. And then we have discussed three different types of the classifications. One classification on the basis of the taste, sugar and non-sugar. Second classification we have discussed is on the basis of the units which they are going to give on hydrolysis, monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, polysaccharide. And third classification we have discussed is on the basis of whether they are able to reduce Fehling solution, Tollens reagent or not. So these three classifications, children, we have discussed. In the next upcoming videos of biomolecules, we'll be continuing with the structural aspects of the different carbohydrates and some other topics. Please maintain the notes, write down everything, revise things well. Thanks for watching.